Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome to this week's Style Lunch and Learn as I'm readjusting the phone a little bit. Okay, I am going to try to make sure my computer doesn't turn off in the middle of this so that I can access my notes without pausing this time. We'll see how it goes. Today's topic of conversation is why you might feel like you have nothing to wear. This is a super common problem that I hear all the time from people either that have very few clothes, although usually it's people that have a ton of clothes in their closet and still are feeling like they have nothing to wear. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right. So the first reason that is very common why you might feel like you have nothing to wear is that your style has changed. Sometimes this happens really slowly over time, so it's more difficult to notice. And sometimes it might happen, maybe because of a certain thing that happened in your life. You leveled up in your career, you changed industries, and now suddenly your style is really different. But your closet is full of clothes that are for the old you, the old lifestyle, and your old style. So, one thing that you can do is actually go through your closet and consider what your new style is, what things you like, what is actually speaking to you, and what's appropriate for your new life, and get rid of the things that no longer speak to you and no longer make sense. I know that it's difficult for people often, they'll look at something that they wore and really liked, and either they have some kind of sentimental attachment to those things, nostalgia for those things, or really often it's just like, well, this is perfectly good. I could get use out of this, but you're actually not. So there's no reason that it needs to be taking up space in your closet. And you might find that when you get rid of all of the stuff that doesn't feel like you and you're only seeing the things that actually speak to your style, A, you'll realize you have more to actually work with, and B, you might realize you really don't have anything that is your style in your closet. You're left with very little. So this is an opportunity to actually intentionally fill your closet with pieces that really feel like you and speak to you. Okay. So the second common reason is that your style, or not your style, your size has changed. This is really common for women, but it happens with men as well. Your weight tends to fluctuate a lot over time. Either, life events like having babies or, things like the pandemic, your size might change. And we hold on to clothes that used to fit and that we really liked and we would like to get back into, but we don't realize that half of our closet is full of things that we can't even wear right now. And so you might actually be really limited in what you can actually wear today, even if your closet is jam-packed full of stuff. And so it feels like you have nothing to wear because truly you really don't have a lot that you can wear. So the other half of this is people that are, not a weight that they would like to be and are holding on to all of this stuff for someday and are not buying new things because they don't want to buy it at the size they are today. And this is super difficult because, again, you don't have clothes that you can wear right now, and it's not good for your self-esteem or, even just the ease of getting dressed if you're having to pick through a bunch of clothes that you actually can't wear. So I always recommend to dress for the body that you have now. So if that means that you have to get rid of, your goal jeans, then so be it. You maybe can just put them away, put them in storage if you're really committed to keeping them for this future self. However, it's better to embrace where you are now, and then if things change in the future, you can reevaluate and restock the things that you need there. So someone said preach. So yes. dress for how you are now. Okay, another big problem that I see all the time is people that have too much stuff. We've touched on this a couple of times, but really want to drive the point home that more stuff often does not give you more options in the way that you think that it will. It actually makes things a lot more difficult for a few different reasons. Some of it is, you don't like half of the stuff that's in there, so you're having to pick through the things in your closet to actually find the things, like the one or two things that you'll actually wear. It also creates a lot of guilt if you're constantly moving past something to get to something that you actually want to wear. You'll feel guilty about not wearing the first few things that you saw, and sometimes that makes you feel like you need to start wearing it, and then you don't feel good in it, and you might not know how to match it because usually it's not your style, or if it doesn't fit, then you really just can't wear it. But if it's not your style and you're trying to make it work for your style, but it just isn't, that makes it really difficult to get dressed and feel like you and feel confident. So with that, again, like just getting rid of all of the stuff that doesn't work for your style, doesn't fit you, and just often you might have like a bunch of duplicates, just things that are making it more difficult for you to see what you have and actually put on outfits. Okay, next up. This is pretty similar to your style has changed, but your environment has changed. This could mean where you live, maybe the climate is different, just the style of dress is different. If you moved from a place where it's super casual, like in California, to the East Coast where things are a little bit more professional dress-wise, or the other way around, you might just have a bunch of stuff that doesn't really feel right in your current environment. This could also happen if you changed jobs, even just a different office might feel different, or if you changed industry or you changed careers and you have all of these clothes that no longer really make sense where you are now in your lifestyle and your environment. So again, I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. You want to get rid of the stuff that doesn't work and buy and invest in things that are going to actually work for you as you are now, where you are now, what you like now. All kind of the same thing. You really want to be dressing and investing in the things that are going to work for you as you are today, where you are today, and release the guilt of getting rid of things that are quote unquote perfectly good that are really not good for you or for you now. If it makes you feel better than just getting rid of them into the ether, taking them to, Goodwill or something, you could host a swap, or you could sell your clothes if you're inclined to do that, or give them to a friend or a relative that could actually use them. That can sometimes ease some of that guilt. Okay. And then the final reason is actually different from everything else is you don't know how to put outfits together. This is actually pretty common, and people think that they don't have anything to wear, and that's because they have these pieces that they like and they always wear the same way, and so they have 5 outfits that are always their go-to outfit, and that's like, I always wear this shirt with these pants, and I always wear this sweater with these pants and these shoes, and they don't ever deviate from that. And eventually that gets pretty boring, and you want to mix things up, and you really feel like you don't have anything to wear because you're just repeating the same exact thing every single day. And to combat that, you could actually try mixing and matching the things that you have. Sometimes that might not work as well if your wardrobe is not really set up in a way that is easy to mix and match. You might need to get a couple of pieces in there that are going to help you create more outfits, but often you can make stuff with what you already have by just experimenting with things that you maybe wouldn't have thought to put together. Also, if you can identify what it is that you struggle with when it comes to outfits, maybe you don't understand how colors work together. So you're always wearing, colors that work together and not really experimenting outside of that. So figuring out how to match colors might be helpful for you. Maybe it's that you really struggle with understanding what shoes you should wear with a different outfit and you always end up wearing the same thing. Again, learning more about shoes, experimenting, maybe just even asking friends, like, does this outfit work? And you can even use a resource like Pinterest to examine other outfits and see how they're putting things together. If you have something in your closet, for example, you have like a specific shirt that you only ever wear with a specific pair of pants, you can type into Pinterest like outfits with, burgundy button down and see how other people have styled that item that might work for you in ways that you wouldn't have thought to do it before. Okay, so those are all of my specific tips, and I'm gonna answer a couple of questions that came in about this. And if you have your own questions, you can put them in the chat and I'll get to them after that. So the first one is, I'm losing weight right now, not at my goal weight yet, and most of my clothes are too big. How do I dress knowing that I will change size again? This is really common, and it's really hard because you don't want to invest in something that you aren't going to get very much use out of. I understand that and I get that. And you also don't want to be wearing your clothes that don't fit you anymore, as I said before. So how do you get around this issue? So the one thing that I will say is you can actually get quite a bit of use out of a pretty small number of clothes if you design them to be really mix and matchable. You can get probably a month's worth of outfits out of 12 pieces. So finding the pieces that are going to work for you at your current size, just so that you can get through a month or two with them. And you can invest in pieces that are going to work even afterwards. So what I mean by that are things that are maybe a little bit more forgiving right now. Maybe they have an elastic waist or an adjustable like drawstring waist. They're a little bit stretchier or oversized. So right now they're gonna fit, and they're also gonna fit if you are, 10 pounds lighter. And then you can just make sure that you have these things that are all going to work together. So you really can mix and match them, and you don't have to buy an entire new wardrobe for right now. As you're changing size in any direction, you can slowly cycle things in and out over time. So it doesn't have to be you're getting a bunch of stuff right now. You can get one thing that is going to work now and later at a time, and then slowly transition your wardrobe like that and transition out things that don't fit. Okay, I hope that answered that question. The second question that I have is a little bit more tricky maybe, but I know how I want to look / what I like, but I have trouble recreating it. Again, this can be a super common problem, and it's kind of difficult to tell you exactly how to do it because everyone's style is different and how to recreate it is really specific to the style, but I can give you some tips on just generally how to do this. So the first thing is just trial and error, which I know isn't maybe your favorite thing to hear, but just practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the more you will understand the nuances of it. And if you're evaluating like, well, I was going for this and I didn't quite hit it, like what went wrong? What did I do not quite right? Or like, why do I feel like this wasn't it? Sometimes it might just be a comfort level thing, like maybe you did actually do it, but because you weren't comfortable in it yet, it felt a little bit off to you. That could be one thing. It could also be you just don't know the nuance yet. So how to get from here to there, from A to B, is really examining your inspiration. So if you do have like a mood board or a person or a celebrity and you really like their outfits, you try to recreate them, but you're just not really hitting it. Try to examine the small details of the outfits that you like and what makes them something that you like. So this could be like a styling thing. Maybe you've done the same, type of shirt and type of pant and type of shoe, but theirs was styled differently. They tucked it differently. They cuffed it in a different way. And just like finding those small details and then doing that yourself, maybe that will get you across that, line to where you're actually feeling like you're recreating that style. It also could be little details in the actual piece. Like you thought that, they're wearing a white button-up shirt, you're wearing a white button-up shirt. Why is it different? Well, theirs is actually really tailored. It's really fitted on them, and it has seaming and stitching so that it's actually very body body skimming, and yours is like an oversized or more of a boxy cut, and it's just not achieving the same look because it's actually a different style of shirt. So just paying attention to those details when you are trying to recreate something. And that is all I have for you today, and I hope that this is helping you create more outfits and actually feel like you have something to wear when you are getting dressed in the morning. I know that, I kept saying the more you have is not always better, and that is really, really true. So the biggest thing that you can do to help your style is honestly giving your closet an edit, and then really identifying and defining your style will help a lot as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.